We are officially live on the airwaves, the internet waves, whatever you want to call them. But we are here and we are in living color. Welcome, everyone, to the Takedown Troop, your weekly TNA review show here at the BC Wrestle Pod Network, Syndicate, Conglomeration, Podcasting, YouTube, Twitch, Kick thing we do pretty much every day of the week now. We're just going to continue to add things on because why not? Of course, joining me this evening in our lovely trio, we have, of course, Papa Oso, who's been holding it down with me since the inception of this whole entire podcast. So this is fun. So I appreciate him being here. And also, it's been a busy week for him. While not concurrently, he's done 4 different reviews this week with me. So yay, there's a lot of wrestling going on this week. And then, of course, we also are joined by the other Will, Radio Will, who is also here tonight for the TNA stuff. Yeah, so we're going to get into this episode. We are, now 2 weeks away from Emergence. We're putting that in our rear view, and all roads lead to Victory Road for now.
When you said 2 weeks out from Emergence, I panicked for a minute because I'm like, we don't have to watch that again, do we? What the fuck?
No, we will not.
2 weeks out in the opposite direction. I got you now.
Yeah, so towards Victory Road and ultimately Bound for Glory. But before we get into our review proper, a little bit of housekeeping, if you will, because I got to do the bossy things of being El Jefe of BC WrestlePod. If you like what you see here, and regardless of how you found us, if it was the algorithm, a friend, you saw 3 dudes reviewing wrestling, you're like, who are these nerds? They look cool. Let me check them out real quick. We appreciate how you got here, and we want you to continue to be involved and stay with us. So if you like watching full-length live streams or even the edited reviews, you can follow us and hit that subscribe button on YouTube or follow us on Twitch or Kick, whatever your preferred video watching and or streaming platform is. But we also know that in 2025, time is a concept and, that does not exist for a lot of us right now. And time is very valuable and not a lot of it, which... trust us, we know. But if you would still like to interact with our little BC WrestlePod community, but can't give the time to watch the reviews, then I highly recommend following us on every single social media site that you could think of at BC WrestlePod, and especially on the Instagrams, because, well, actually all the social media sites, that's where we post our exclusive report cards for all the weekly shows and the pay-per-views. We also give you previews of, the weekly television shows, what to expect for matches and things like that, as well as some fun other stuff as well. But if you also want to take it a step further and, get yourself something nice while also helping us financially to keep the quote unquote lights on in this building, you can buy some merchandise, which will be linked in the chat and the description of this video below, where we have a plethora of things. We have merch of all of our wrestling review shows. We have our Pride collection. We have our summer collection, which is going away in 2 days to make room for the fall collection. And we also have our, what I dub the anti-fascism collection. And our Pride and Anti-Fascism collection, part of those proceeds will be donated to the Point to Pride and California Youth Immigration Justice Fund charities, because we believe in being philanthropic, being philanthropic up in here. However, I can't word today.
I think it's a Velociraptor.
You know what? Sure. Why not? But however you are, we believe in using our platform to support the causes that we love and hold near and dear to our hearts, because why not? But with that out of the way, let's just jump into it. So I will say I did like some stuff that happened this week on TNA, but I also have some questions. And again, we're going to be reiterating certain points that were made on Wednesday, specifically when we get to talking about our TNA Knockouts Championship, because it has come back home to TNA after this past Sunday. But we're going to get into that when we get to that part of the show, because right now, let's kick things off with what started us off this week, which was a tag team match. We had Mike Santana and our TNA International Champion, Steve Macklin, taking on, the team of our TNA World Champion and NXT's own Trick Williams, teaming up with a first class, founder, entrepreneur, 1/3, 1/2, however you want to divide it up, in AJ Francis. So, this match was made given last week that Mike Santana wanted to go after Trick, but he needed to find a tag team partner. Macklin offered his services to Santino because Santino was trying to find a partner for Santana. And lo and behold, Macklin's like, hey, I got nothing to do, so let me fight these. That's literally what it is.
I've got no place on this card. What the fuck?
I mean, Very fair. And I mean this in all love, Macklin, but you and Deanna Perazzo's Instagram videos are fucking hilarious. Anyways, I digress. You know what? I actually really like this match only because of the fact that, well, it's fun to see these four interact with each other. And you know what? I am the type of wrestling fan that I love watching, our heels kind of get the comeuppance once in a while too. And that's exactly what happened here, because after a back and forth bout between these two, at one point I did think that AJ Francis legitimately hurt himself when he took a stumble out the ring. I'm like, oh God, no, don't hurt yourself, when he got caught up a little bit. Ultimately, it would be Santana and Macklin to pick up the win here, with Mike Santana pinning the TNA World Champion Trick Williams in this match. So, Papa Oso, I'm going to come to you first with this one. What are your thoughts and feelings and comments about this tag team match opening the show?
I enjoyed it. It was good. I think it was unnecessary. I thought, why did we create this particular thing just to put Mike Santana and Trick in the same ring together? I mean, okay. It's like, all right. I enjoyed the match. Don't get me wrong. There were some really great moments, some strong moments, some great moments where AJ Francis got his ass handed to him, and I'm always here for that. And of course, Trick Williams opening his damn mouth all the time. And I thought the ending was appropriate. Actually, funny thing is, though, I thought it was a little unusual. I thought if they were going to do this, I would think that either Macklin would have pinned Trick, or if it had gone the other way, like AJ would have pinned Mike. It was weird that Mike pinned Trick to me. It felt weird. I don't know why. Just felt weird. Considering that we all know what's going to happen. But
yeah. Right. And, it is a little weird is a word for it too. But I also find it interesting, again, because the three of us, we all know that it's going to be Trick and Mike at Bound for Glory. That is the end game for this story, which I'm like, okay, cool. You would have thought this was to build into, Mike having a reason to actually, get a chance at the title against Trick Williams. The problem is that Bound for Glory is in October, and we still got Victory Road at the end of September. So you mean to tell me we going to be carrying this all the way through to the middle of October? I mean, I'm not mad at it, but all right, Radio, I want to get your thoughts on this too. So what did you think of this and kind of where we're going for it?
Like my only thing here is like, it's like you said, the whole, are we really going to be carrying this all the way through this? Like, do we have to? It just feels you're setting up for October in August. What about September? Like, it is very much like, and you've written the opening paragraph. It's like my comparison of the emergence thing of someone finishing their homework in homeroom. This is the other side of it. This is your thesis. Okay, this is my thesis. What the fuck else am I supposed to write?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. So again, Trick and Mike Santana, this is the end game, but that means that for the next 7 or 8 weeks, we're going to be building this up to Bound for Glory, because I'm like, all right, well, Santana and Trick have to have something at Victory Road, right? And I say this because I legit don't know. And we have seen in the past that Victory Road sometimes doesn't include our big champions for some odd reason, but I digress. Again, Mike Santana and Steve Macklin pick up the win here in this tag team match. We will talk about Trick later, because he also appeared in the middle and also closed out the show too this week, which I was like, damn, this is a lot of Trick Williams here. We're going to get to him when he closes out the show specifically, because right now, Leon Slater feels like a child. It's just like, listen, man, I'm excited for this match. Cedric, I love teaming with you because you're great, right? However, the Hardys are my boys. Like, they are my mentor figures. So I'm literally caught between a hard place, a rock and a hard place, so to speak. Leon, I love you. You did great this weekend at Rev Pro UK shows. You were amazing. And Cedric, you're fantastic as well. More on you in our main event. Okay. The optics are not the greatest, right?
We've said it before, and we will say it again, my guy. Okay, you know who he started to remind me of this week? He started to remind me of Rorschach in the worst possible way.
Rorschach?
Watchmen. Yeah.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. I can't.
And not in the way, there's a lot of people out there that either read Watchmen or watched the movie and were like, Rorschach is the coolest character in there. No, he's not. He is an unhinged individual and with a tenuous grasp on reality. And the fact that people think that Rorschach is the coolest and that he was the right one, and it's like, and yes, I'm staring directly at you, Zack Snyder. It's no side eye. This is full on eye contact. Means you have hilariously missed the point of Watchmen. But
yeah, so okay. So this is a bigger thing that we can discuss on a little bit because, Papa, you and I have this. Let me get my thoughts in order, right? So we're getting Eric Young versus Myron Reed. This match was made last week when we had a backstage segment and encounter between Eric Young and Myron Reed. And I just sat there watching this. And by the end of this, I was just like, it's already bad enough that a certain program on Tuesdays has a group called The Culling and still is going with it. It's another thing that on Thursdays, I'm watching Eric Young continue to have this idea of a cleansing. And the fact that he's talking about this to a black man does not sit right with my spirit. Like, what is happening? So Myron is, Eric Young talks to Myron and Eric Young is trying to get Myron to join him. Myron's like, no, I'm not going to. Zach Wentz comes in to kind of help with all of that. And Eric Young's like, I see you picked your side. We'll deal with this next week. I'm like, what side did he pick? You're fucking delusional, Eric Young. Your grasp on reality is getting out of hand. And this is what makes me mad. When we get to another part with Eric Young later, I got so pissed off on what I saw there because I was just like, we could have thrown out the cleansing portion. And this is exactly what we've been asking you. But we took too long to get here. I was just like, you're telling the story out of order. But Papa, also, help me out here. Like, what is happening? Like, why are we still doing this?
So I came to a realization today while I was watching this episode. From now on forward, I will say absolutely nothing about this faction. I will mention nothing. I'm not even going to watch like matches that they're in because I'm over it.
So
the name of their faction raises so much 1930s Germany that I can't even stomach it. So I'm done. I'm not wasting my breath on that from now on. I can't. It is disrespectful. It is the worst possible thing that they could have done. And I'm pissed because either TNA doesn't realize it or they do and they don't care. Both of which are bad.
Right.
So, and the fact that you have a white bald man in charge and now he's got that beard which makes it even, and I'm just like,
there's really nothing else you can say to that. That he hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, so Eric Young beats Myron Reed through shenanigans, and I was just like, all right, let's move on with our lives because I felt gross. I was just like, I can't with this character, and I'm like, this is a whole different type of discussion we could have. But
I got one other thing I gotta say. The other thing I'm also pissed off about is that the other performers, the other artists, the other wrestlers are contractually obligated to go along with it.
Yeah, that's not the fun part. So I really hope, and I'm gonna give benefit of the doubt. I'm really hoping, Eric Young, this was not your brainchild, because if it was, we're gonna have several conversations going forward. I'm like, no, ma'am. Anyways, let's move on though, because unfortunately we gotta briefly talk about Eric later. But
there is one fear I have in that regard, and especially like given like some of the movings and shakings of sort of the larger wrestling community in here about him. I know I have said that I hope Killer Cross comes to TNA because TNA needs a shot in the arm in terms of talent. Don't put him with him, please. Like, I mean, I know his whole look is kind of like custom. His whole look and his delivery is like custom tailored to that kind of visual, but please don't.
Again, the optics would be very bad, especially the fact that Killer Cross is a AOS. He is Puerto Rican, which would not be great. I was like, I can't. So let's move on, because unfortunately, Eric Young, we got to talk about you later, and the less time I got to spend with you now while you're going through this character arc, the better. So I don't know why, Danny Luna, you look so sad in this picture. We get a quick promo, a pre-tape promo from Danny Luna, solidifying her becoming more heelish and actually being a heel. And that it's literally, this promo equates to it's Danny Luna's time to actually get that. It was like, you know what? I'm here for a more vicious and vindictive Danny Luna. It gives, it's a lot of fun. And again, perfect person to do so because she's literally a monster. Homegirl is built to destroy people, and I'm here for it. So heel Danny Luna all the way, here for this. We're going to talk about her later too, because we're setting up a lot of stuff. So again, this is TNA. So we try not to we try to stick to TNA, but we have to bring this up because it does involve one of our lovely TNA knockouts. So this past Tuesday on NXT, our general manager Ava announced that the Speed Championships for WWE will both be coming to NXT. So both the men and women's Speed Championships, and the women will be holding a tournament to see who will face the current women's Speed Champion in Sol Ruca, with one wrestler from each brand of for to see for what it is. So I'm trying to think. I forgot who's representing Raw, but Candice LeRae is representing SmackDown. Xia Brookside is representing TNA. And we have Fabi Apache representing AAA is also getting involved in it, which is kind of crazy to say. So I only say this because this upcoming Tuesday, Xia Brookside will be facing off against SmackDown's Candice LeRae. On paper, this should be a pretty good match because Candice is great. I feel like the Fed hasn't used her properly, but I love seeing Xia Brookside also cross the line too, because I think she's fantastic and great in her own right. So that is the reason I put this in here, which also kind of leads into a talking point that we started on Wednesday, and we're going to continue it here. So you guys, the TNA Knockouts Championship is back in TNA, and it is on Ash by Elegance, who won the triple threat to this past Sunday at Heatwave. First and foremost, let me start off with a positive. Ash, I love you. I have a bias because you are one of the first wrestling interviews that we ever did, and you're awesome. Having said that, I kind of want to briefly, Papa, me and you a little bit to kind of rehash a little bit what we talked about on Wednesday, and then go into how Ash and the rest of the House of Elegance talked about this on the show, because the way that it went down at Heatwave was kind of bizarre. I'm not mad that Ash won, but how we got to the finish was very weird, because what ended up happening is that the numbers game for JC and Ash were, crazy, because both teams were doing stuff to everybody else. Masha's the only person who was out here on her own. So unfortunately, the Fatal Influence girls, Fallon and Jasmine, get thrown out of the match towards the tail end of things because they were messing around. But it was very questionable that House of Elegance also didn't get thrown out because they were caught doing stuff too. Really weird. JC hits her finisher, going to pin Masha. The House of Elegance pulls JC out onto the floor, doesn't beat her up, but just pulls her on the floor, and JC's laying there, which would allow Ash to hit her finisher and pin Masha for the, Knockouts Championship. And I was just like, all right, I can see where producers stuck their hands in this. I was like, you're going to throw out one group, but don't. I was like, whatever, it's fine, I guess. And nobody, in our opinion, and Papa, I'm going to come to you really quick. In our opinion, nobody won that match. JC looked weak as a double champ. Ash winning was cool, but I hated how we got there. And I'm like, what are we doing? So, yeah, Papa, I want to come to you first if you are able to. Yeah.
I think, honestly and truly, I think this match was simply just to get Ash the title so that it was back with TNA. So, but I really think this was just we need to get this back to TNA, and before we get to our big PPV. And I honestly don't think they're going to have her hold on to it for very long, unfortunately. But yeah, the whole thing was so crooked and cockeyed. It didn't make any damn sense. I mean, literally made no sense whatsoever. But I mean, I really believe that it was just to get the title off of JC and onto a TNA person. I really believe that's what it was. That's why they pulled JC out of the fight, so that she wouldn't be the one to get pinned, type of thing. I mean, you know what I mean? Sorry, my brain's going all over the place.
It's all good.
So I really believe it, which sucks, because I love Ash, and I think this was just and dare I say that they're treating this one as not as important as like the Trick and Mike Santana thing going on, which is sad, because this match could have been badass, but I literally feel that it was just to get this title onto a TNA person and on Ash, and she was the logical choice, because if she wins the title, holds on to it for a couple of weeks, loses it at, like, say, the big PPV, then everyone would be okay with that.
Right. Which kind of goes into what we saw here. We're getting a live celebration next week on another live episode of TNA. Like, I get PTSD. Yes, radio.
I'm too lazy to pick up the camera right now.
So yeah, that's Apologies, radio, but yeah, that's kind of what went down at Heatwave. Me and Papa here talked about it during the Heatwave review on Wednesday, and we all saw, we're getting a celebration next week. Like, what are your thoughts about this whole thing about Ash getting the title back for TNA?
Like, it's fine. So I had a thought while I was watching this episode, is that like none of the big heels in TNA are solo. They all have factions behind them. They all have groups behind them. There is no like dominant monster heel. And like, do you need one? I kind of think you do personally. And because it just makes for like a little bit more of a wild card dynamic, if that makes sense. Like, you can have this moment where it's like, yeah, I'm here to celebrate, and then someone's music hits, and then the entire crowd just goes, oh shit, and yeah, you can get that with a faction, but like it inevitably leads to what we're looking at, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in a minute, with the system, is that like, okay, but now we have to turn them heel. How do we do that? We don't have them stand up for a wrongdoing. We don't have them get the complete shit kicked out of them by a bigger heel. No, they just come out, sorry, we're going to try to be better. Like, and don't get me wrong, I understand that's how it works in real life. That's how, like, if you fuck up in real life, you say, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to work on being better. I'm going to try to be a better person. And then you move forward with that. You make that announcement. You make that statement. Wrestling is not real life. Like, I appreciate the fact that, like, yes, this is how you would do that. But, like, why? Just why? Like, and on that, so to bring that back to, Ash being the TNA Knockouts champion, I kind of hope they're setting her up to be a transitional champion, because frankly, I would rather her do that and say, look at how great I am, and start ignoring the rest of the Elegance brand. How it's all on her. It's all her. It's all about Ash, to the point where she starts berating the rest of the Elegance brand and have them turn babyface.
That would be awesome. And we kind of, even before before Heatwave, we kind of the last couple of weeks, because Heather and Maggie by Elegance, they kept losing all the stuff. I mean, they retained the championships at Emergence, but Ash was getting tired of them losing. So you know what? Do I trust TNA to do that? Probably not right now, but it does leave a door open. And man, I really hope they would go that direction, because I think a dominant Ash, as crazy as it is to say that sentence, I think would be really fun. And honestly, I feel like it would be something different, and it would be cool, because you're right. The three of us can agree the fact that the major heels in the men's and women's divisions are backed up with a faction. Our baby faces are really the only ones that are truly out here grinding on their own without any additional help. Like, Leon's on his own. The Hardys are kind of on their own. I mean, Leon and the Hardys have a relationship, but they're out here on their own. Mike, Macklin, Masha.
Well, and the other thing about that is that when you have all of the heels are in factions, are in stables, it almost creates a default stable of the baby faces, because they all have to team up now to deal with the fact that all of the bad guys are in factions.
Yeah.
And like, I hope they keep the name Northern Armory and don't change it to The Cleanse, because fucking hell.
I swear if that happens, I would be like, and fast forward.
Yep.
Which doesn't make me happy. Eric Young, we're kind of on the fence about right now. I would hate that for Sinner and Saint.
Yeah.
I love them boys, but yeah. So we're getting a live celebration with Ash and everybody else next week. I was just like, all right, let's see what happens. Again, PTSD with the word live episode. I'm like,
I will be sitting there up in the same balcony as Waldorf and Statler, just waiting to make the jokes.
Alrighty. So Ash, love that you got it. I just hate how we got here for you, girl, because damn. Anyways, let's move on. Speaking of running it back, I was just like, how many times have we seen this match? Like, I'm so okay. So again, the inspiration take on Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, NXT's Fatal Influence. JC, their leader, lost the TNA Knockouts World Championship at Heatwave, and the cracks are continuing to show on NXT as JC and Fallon are truly becoming stepsister. They are Cinderella stepsistering Jasmine and bullying her and dogging her out, so to speak. So I was like, Jasmine is about to reach a breaking point. But then we get this match because obviously this is pre-taped. So it's just like, all right, Fatal Influence is here. Inspiration, girls, I love you, but TNA be playing in your faces. This is the second time that you went up for this championship. You should be tag team champions. I'm really hoping that if we get one more match with Inspiration and the Elegance brand, what are we doing? But this match, it was fine for what it was. I was happy to see the Inspiration girls pick up a victory because for a brief moment, I really got scared. I was like, oh God, what if they let Fatal Influence win? But I was like, no, because JC lost on Sunday. We can't have these two win. But thankfully, that did not happen.
I don't want to ruffle feathers. You know, I know that the Inspiration is a favorite team of most of the people on this podcast. I don't get it.
And you know what? That's fair.
They have not impressed me. It's and I I can tell you the one I can pinpoint you the one moment, and this is one of those things. This is such a sticking point for me as a wrestling fan in general. You can have all the charisma in the world, all of the technical skill in the world, the best physique, the best athleticism, everything like that is ass.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I get the setup. You're going for what did the Good Brothers call it? The Magic Killer. They're going for that kind of thing.
They still use it.
Well, here's the thing: like when the Good Brothers do it, they get them like really up there and like sort of like spin them up in the air, and it works. When the Inspiration does it with it sort of sets it up as like a back suplex to start, and then when they go to do it together, they're just kind of like gently rolling their opponents onto their stomach onto the mat. It's like it looks like it does nothing. It's like we're just gonna hold. All right, we've got you up, and we're just gonna sort of gently put you down. That was your finisher.
So of course, and you know what, radio, like we can call it out as it is. Of course, I am the biggest Inspiration fan, but that's because and I will be the first to admit it, and I'm okay in admitting this. I'm holding on to their first run in TNA, which was fantastic. Since returning, not as much. I was like, I love these girls, I really do, but themselves and TNA has not done any favors with me. Like, why are they back? Like, I love them dearly, down, but yeah, they haven't been shown in the greatest light, and I'm not happy about it. But also, your thoughts on anything about this match, about what's going down? Like,
I was not impressed with this match at all.
Fair.
Which is unfortunate because it's a women's match and I should be, and I really wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it. I mean, it was like, oh, okay. It's like literally it's same shit, different day. Like,
you are not wrong.
They're rinse repeat.
Yep. Inspiration win. Woo. Trick Williams out here calling his lawyer. We're gonna get him to
Okay. This hit me in just the wrong way because I know exactly why they did this.
Oh Lord.
It's because of the situation with Raja Jackson and Psycho Stu. He assaulted, calling out Mike Santana for assaulting him.
It's why that's crazy.
For throwing a couple extra, very clearly worked blows after the bell rang. Guys, like AEW has this reputation of treating its fans like smart marks. It's like, oh, I understood that. We're like, I understood that reference. I know what that's talking about. This is referring to this one match from New Japan back in 1998 where such and such happened, right? Okay, TNA, don't treat us like idiots. Anyone that's like even kind of follows wrestling has heard rumblings of that story. Even if you don't know like the name of like the people involved, you heard somewhere that there was a wrestler that got the shit kicked out of him by Rampage Jackson's son. And especially given the fact that, there's been a lot of hay made about like, did he deserve it? Did he not? Was it like, what else did he say? What happened backstage? Blah, like there's so much to that story that like this felt like saying like, oh, he assaulted me. And I'm just going like, really, guys? You're gonna turn someone else's assault into into wrestling drama. Psycho Stu's not even out of the hospital yet, and I don't know, rubbed me the wrong way.
You know, I didn't have any of that backstory. I thought this was just Trick Williams being a little bitch.
I guess I'm just another smart mark then.
Literally, it's just like, well, look, Trick Williams being a little bitch. I was like, okay, it's the logical next step.
Surprised though when his lawyer was just like some guy. I like when he's like, "Oh, I'm calling my lawyer." It's like, "Oh, who's his lawyer? What sort of angle is this going to be?" It's like, no, it's some dude.
We gonna talk about that when we get to the final parts of the show, because I was just like, Trick, sit your ass down. It's like, oh boy.
It's
all right.
It was someone from a local Baltimore indie that could take a bump.
Very fair. Okay, I just really want to talk about this quickly because I was just like, Ryan Nemeth needs to go away. Yes. Like, he reminds us that his big brother Nick Nemeth will be returning to TNA next week. I was just like, shut up.
And there was much rejoicing. Yeah.
Never. This is gonna be the craziest sentence I have said so far tonight, but like, I'd never in my life I actually been more happy to hear, do you want to know something? I was like, you know what, Alicia, you get on my damn nerves half the time, but girl, I was just like, alrighty, well, I mean, we haven't said their faces now, but like, sure, fine, whatever.
And like I mentioned earlier, this whole thing about like, oh, the system, we're baby faces now.
Are you?
Or are they just struggling with the amount of heels that they've made on their roster and are now reaping that?
I think the only way the system becomes any type of face is they have to break up.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, the system literally has to go away.
Which it sounds like it's on. Well, okay. Here's the problem though: is like it sounds like they're on the way to that, but they're breaking up in the same way that like DX did initially. It was originally, and then this other guy's going to break away to do his own thing, and now we're just kind of a tag team, and then the tag team like wins opposite belts, and then okay, I guess we're over.
Out of all of the, I don't. The funny thing about it is, if the only people I really give a shit about in the system, if they were to go face, would be Mr. and Mrs. Edwards.
Honestly,
I honestly don't care about anybody else, but I would love to see them flip, because I would like to see Alicia as a face, like full on like face.
I mean,
because we've seen Eddie that way.
You're not going to hear me argue about, a hometown boy going babyface.
Yeah, I would love to see it, but
I would like to see it because we have Frankie over there,
midlife crisis,
doing all that BS. So I think it would be a really cool juxtaposition, because I actually, believe it or not, now that time has passed, I would like to see an Eddie Frankie rivalry again, but one that makes more sense.
And the roles would be reversed, because remember, Frankie was the face that went on for like 7 months too long.
But I think in this instance, it would be a different type of feud, because then it was all like, oh, we worked together and now we're completely like at odds with one another. But this would be more like, hey, I saw the error of my ways, and Frankie, you're a shit, and I'm going to take you down.
Do it. Honestly, I'm gonna be so for real, because it seems we're teasing Frankie and Macklin to have some sort of feud. And I was like, I'm gonna be for real. I would rather see Macklin and Edwards, babyface Edwards, go at it, because I think that would be a lot of fun. And you know what? Macklin don't need to be heel. Both of them can use, their morals and happenstances and all that. And I think it would be a fun.
that was a joke. I don't know if Macklin can't decide either.
So I was, for all intents and purposes, to ruin the joke, because, it's me. I'm just kidding. No, Macklin technically is a face, but like Papa and I were introduced to him as the heel when we started covering TNA, which has been, and honestly, we still don't even know when the turning point truly was for him to become a face, which was really weird. But Eddie Edwards wins, kicks the shit out of Ryan Nemeth. We're here for it.
So this whole situation,
I was like, do we all forget that Rosemary got hit with the chair too? I guess, sure, fine, whatever. I don't know. So originally, it was going to be Jody Threat versus Indy Hartwell to figure out, because Danny Luna went crazy on both of them during that gauntlet match. And because Jody did not feel right about winning it the way that she did, Indy was, seemed allegedly to be the person who potentially would have won that match. So Jody and Indy just are going to go at it to figure out who the actual number one contender is. Danny Luna comes in, and she is yelling at Santino, and Indy be like, no, did you see? I ran that gauntlet. I should be added to this match too. I'm like, but you hit the last two women with a chair, Danny. Like, did we forget that you beat up people? And Indy's like, no, add her to the match. I want it. And I'm just like, I was like, what are we doing? You know, Danny's going to roughhouse you. And with Danny being in here, I was like, okay, Jody's going to win this because it's going to spin off into Danny and Indy fighting all over the place. And I was like, all right, cool. Should be a fun match, but I'm like, I hate how we're getting here.
Like, I feel like a language arts teacher watching this and just sitting here like, I want to like take a giant red marker to whoever wrote the script for this. It's like, okay, basically just go like, where's Rosemary? Like, and it hurts. It's like
it really does.
I've said it before, and I guarantee you I will say again. Hey, TNA, I can write a good story and like
we promise.
Work with people to, you know,
they don't care.
I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they don't.
All three of us can. Like, I don't.
I think TNA just likes shitty stories.
It's crazy. I was just like, listen, I'm not saying what I would write would be the best thing, but if you write things on napkins that are better than what we're witnessing on, you literally have whole published plays. Like, come on now. Like, what are we doing?
Speaking of that, I've just started writing a play about women wrestlers.
Yeah,
very cool.
So TNA, take notes. Hire Papa Oso and hire the rest of us. We promise. I can't speak for these two. I will do it for free, like no lie. For real.
Oh no, I want to be paid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would do it for free, and I would ask to do it for the women's division because y'all don't know how to write their stories. But I digress. Anyways. So we're getting a triple threat between Indy, Danny, and Jody next week on the live edition of TNA. Oh, Lord help us. Okay. Like, finally, this is what we've been asking for the last couple weeks, but you should have started with this at the beginning and taken out, you know, the cleansing portion of it. Like, what? The biggest pet peeve I have with any story is like when you know this is screaming, oh shit, we should have did this before. Let's do it now. It's like, no. You've already went a couple of weeks when this should have happened weeks ago to start off this feud, and now you want to do this? Why? Like, listen, Eric Young, we're on the fence with you, but it's just like Joe Hendry, like, I love you, but like, what are they doing? Like, what are we doing? I was just like, this could have been an interesting feud had you started it off this way weeks ago, not in the middle of like 4 different stories for Eric Young and he fighting everybody. This was ass. I'm so mad for everybody involved with this. Like, this is crap. I'm sorry.
I was watching a video on YouTube earlier. It came across my feed, and it was a very clickbaity title of like saying like, oh, worst match ever. Like, what, like, is this the worst match or worst pay-per-view ever? And it was for a match that was just earlier this year, back in January, the People versus GCW.
I remember it correctly. It's way too long, but continue.
Exactly. And the guy that's going over it is reviewing it, saying like it went way too long because of there were some issues, not just in like the in-ring match and stuff, like just sort of how the things were booked, but like there was one Ali Ketch, I think her name was, broke her leg in 2 places.
No,
so
that's exactly what happened, because Andrew, I, the professor, you know, the 3 of us here at BC WrestlePod, we did a whole live watch along for the People versus GCW. It was like a 5.5 hour show, but we waited for like 45 minutes because again, we're in New York and the commission, the sports commission, like has to have, you know, certain rules in place. And so when Allie broke her leg, they had to take her to the hospital, and we couldn't continue with the rest of the show until the other ambulance came to replace the one that left. And I was just like, it was a whole crazy mess.
Yeah. Well, and anyway, like, and I'm watching this guy's review of it, and it's like his ultimate takeaway was like, it's definitely not the worst pay-per-view of all time. Like, people are evidently comparing it to like Heroes of Wrestling. Oh yeah,
it wasn't that bad, you guys. I promise.
Yeah, and it's like he said, like, and the guy that was reviewing, he said, like, it was bad. Don't get me wrong, this was a bad pay-per-view, but it's not that bad. Like, and a lot of it was due to stuff that was beyond their control.
But
guys, and like, there was another detail about that particular pay-per-view that like got me thinking a little bit. And it was the bit with Wild
Watch
came out, like, who at the time was the TNA Digital Media Champion, comes out and just starts smashing that belt, the sledgehammer. And evidently at the time, everybody thought it was a work. Nobody's seen him since.
Well, at least in major promotions. For those of us who he and Scott D'Amore are linking up, and he's been in the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling shows. But I get where you're going, what you're saying.
So, and I have to, but I have to imagine that like there's a part of that. Pair that with the overarching NXT crossover that they're doing, and what I don't remember where I heard it, but I know that PCO used to be in WWE, but like kind of like
I believe part of the Quebecers, I believe is what he was.
Yeah. But like, and it just never clicked for him. And like a lot of it was because of the politics stuff. So knowing his previous relationship with WWE and everything that's happened with TNA over the last couple of years, Scott D'Amore, NXT crossovers, everything like that. He like that display has to be like, that is definitely that was an omen. And looking at what's happened to TNA in the year since, like it's starting to feel like he saw the writing on the wall and was like, this is all going downhill because they're going to try to get in bed with WWE and TKO. And so, yeah, no, fuck that shit.
Yeah, this whole entire sequence of events, like
I don't either. I don't think I want to understand it. It's just
honestly, when it comes to Joe Hendry, I feel like he's just kind of treading water until his TNA contract runs out because of the memes, that dude can write a check to wherever he wants to go when he's done here. Like he is absolutely looking at W or AEW or another one of the big promotions, or hell, like maybe even like he might even be looking at like going to New Japan, because if there's one person who could definitely use to go to the boot camp that is New Japan, it's Joe Hendry. He's got the charisma, he's got the mic skills, his in-ring performance is okay, but it could use a little work. Give him a year or two in Japan, and you've got a masterpiece right there.
You know what? Have Joe Hendry, even if it's for like one match, like have him go back with our homeboy in New Japan, Yuya, who's killing it right now. And, who's being touted to be the, second incarnation or the newer generation incarnation of Tanahashi. So that's crazy. So, yeah, but I'm just like, I don't care about this feud. It really upsets me because of the fact, with all of this, but I'm just like, whatever. Don't care. We got to move on, though. The numbers game was too much for Miss Sade over here, not the singer.
Mara Jade. Every time I see her name, every time I hear her name, it's like that is a Star Wars reference.
So we got this match versus, Tasha Steelz. I hate the reason that we're getting this match was because over Tasha like not liking Mara's painting from last week. I was like, that's stupid. Anyway.
So, okay. Although I will say that bit did make, there was a part of me that's like, wait a minute. Does that mean Claude might come to TNA?
Oh, Lord.
If you're not familiar, Claude was the art critic manager persona of Brian Zane of Wrestling with Regret when he went to perform with JCW.
I forgot about that. So here's the thing, another knockouts match. It should have been fun, but again, this was just a vehicle to set up what we're getting next week, because the numbers game was too much for Mara Sade, Tasha, the Great Hands, and Agent Zero of Order 4, which, okay, I want to take a pause really quickly because, Papa Osa, I want you to talk about this because me and you had a chat earlier today about, the optics of Eric Young and Order 4. So I can't, thanks to you, I can't unsee that now. And I was just like, oh God.
What's so funny is it would have slipped by me if they had not done a close-up, but they did a close-up, and that's what set me off.
What is this?
Because I'm like, why did they do a close-up of that? Because the way that they come in is they have their hands over their hearts, but it's a 4.
Right. It's
which is actually very close, and I'm not going to do it on stream, but it's very close to the OK symbol, that white supremacist. Oh. And if you did not see it up close, now this may have been why they pushed it up close, so we saw that it wasn't that, but personally, Mustafa and them, they should rethink that.
Yeah.
Because it was, they closed up on it, and I was like, wait, why are we close? Why do we do that? Yeah, I'm like, so I was literally like, oh God, what the hell is TNA doing? What are they doing? It's like
there is also a certain, like, when you bring up Agent Zero, like he concerns me. Like, don't get me wrong, and like I understand it's a performance, I understand things happen, but the last person that this guy laid hands on in a performance is now out indefinitely. So like, I understand. He said he's in the indies. He's like, I know people have said that he came from the indies, and that's fine. That the indies are great. Like it's me. I love the indies. Like, but how much time did he spend in the indies? How green is this guy? How, like, if he's throwing people around, and once again, it's on there's also the other aspect too. JDC has been in the game for a long time, so, like, it may have just been a perfect storm of wear and tear on your body and guy that's greener than grass, and I don't know. It's just, there's some concern. I have some concern there.
Yeah, TNA is making some very questionable decisions right now. I mean, granted, even last year they were making some questionable decisions, but now, like, we were okay. We get the first half of this year, and this whole summer, I'm like, oh Lord, what are we doing? So Mara Sade loses, Tasha Steele wins, but Tasha and the Great Hands and Agent Zero begin beating up on Miss Sade, which then sends the Hardys out for the save, which is setting up, the Hardys and Sade versus Tasha and the Great Hands next week. Yeah, moving on. Main event time. I was just like, Leon and Cedric, I love you. But Matt, I was like, I thought he tweaked the knee, because then he started hopping around. I'm like, gosh dang it, Matt. I was like, we literally saw what happened to Casey Navarro. We can't keep having people be out on knee injuries right now. I think, no, JT would actually agree with me when I'm about to say is he's a diehard Hardy fan, but he also is a man who also would listen to this too. And maybe you two could tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Can we safely say that Leon and Cedric kind of carried the Hardys through this match a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing that I said about emergence matches, because babyface versus babyface, zero heat. Why did this match not include a heel turn?
That's what I was saying. I was just like,
this match should have included a heel turn. Even if they wanted to do the whole thing of, like, Cedric, like, kind of acting like the devil on Leon's shoulder kind of thing, like, do that and then swerve us and have the Hardys turn heel. Like, I don't know how they would have done it, but if you're gonna keep giving us babyface versus babyface, there needs to be heat.
Well,
this is Marge Simpson's favorite match. I just hope they all have a good time.
What should have happened here? Well, first of all, I don't think we'll see the Hardys turn heel anytime soon, because one, I wouldn't believe that for anything. Two, I think what should have happened is it should have had a turn where Leon turned on Cedric.
That would have been so...
No. Cedric is doing nothing but playing mind games with Leon right now. And he's trying to set him up again, trying to get him to turn away from the Hardys. And I think that if he had realized what Cedric was doing and then had him turn on him, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
It would have been like, that's great. And then that would have set Cedric up as a heel.
Yep.
Like full on.
And even if you wanted to, not to say to make Leon even darker too, or at least give him an edge, he kind of tweaks, he kind of is between that line, because the TNA Leon Slater, I love to death. He is like babyface, love him down. But the Rev Pro UK and Progress Wrestling Leon Slater is still the same, but he has a little bit more edge to him in the sense that, oh, he's cool, but he's also going to punch your face in and is not afraid to get, gritty and down in the dirty to win and things like that. And I'm going to be so for real. After the match, the way that the mannerisms that were coming off of Cedric, I thought Cedric was going to do something too. I was just like, ooh, here we go. But then nothing. I was like, well, damn, why are we picking shots and you're showing angles that make me think that? How dare you, TNA?
You know what? I think this match gets the award tonight.
Oh, no.
This match could have been an email.
Honestly, it really could have. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, it's not the worst way to end the show, but oh no,
this is probably damning with faint praise. This is the only one that this is the only winner of this match could have been an email award of this show tonight. Once again, damning with faint praise, but
we didn't have an outcome for this. There's no outcome here. I mean, truly, and I agree with you. I think it could have totally been, a text message. And
not even an email, shit.
Not like an emoji, like a couple of emojis, and it's done.
My haha winky face said.
Yeah, but there was no outcome. There was no, what was the point? The belts, or we weren't going to have whatever. What was the point of this? I mean, if we're just trying to set Cedric up as sort of like the bad guy who's trying to just cause waves or whatever, not necessarily the bad guy, but or maybe we are making him full on heel. If that's the case, then where is that? Where's it at? I didn't see any of that.
You know, we're not talking low blows. We're not talking foreign objects. We're not talking, you know, cutting a promo against your family in the middle of the ring. You know, but it can be seen as heelish, but they could have done more with it.
And I will agree with you, Mikey. For a little bit, because of the camera angles, I thought something was going to happen, and then nothing did. And I was just like, "What's the point? What's the point of this?
Like, how dare you waste my time?"
Yes, I mean, honestly, it was sort of like literally, it was like,
what is
I don't
happening?
get all that. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, this is the way to end this show. And then I did not see the like TNA logo pop up. I'm like, I checked my screen. I'm like, oh God, we still have time left. What are we about to witness? I hate that this is how the show ended, to be so for real. Trick Williams comes out and he's complaining about it. The lawyer's out there. The lawyer's just some random Joe Schmo dude off the street. Santino comes out, gives the lawyer the Cobra. Literally, this is an announcement that we already knew. We called this like whatever. We called this since freaking not even Slammiversary. We called this way before then too. That it's going to be Mike Santana and Trick Williams for this championship at Bound for Glory. I was just like, no. We still got Victory Road, you guys. What are we doing?
No, see, it's worse than that.
Oh, Lord, help us.
It's worse than that, because did you hear the announce team as the TNA logo comes out and the show fades out? Because they're saying like, well, Santino in the ring starts going like, does the math, and it's like, oh, that's over 50 days, Bound for Glory, and then walks out. And the announce team's like, wait, what about Bound for Glory? It's after 50 days in the contract. Guys, we are not idiots. Swear to God, you guys. Like, give us a little bit of credit. Are you angling to get this on PBS? Is this going to be wrestling for kids? So that they can be like, oh no, it could mean anything. Like, no. They're obviously building towards Bound for Glory, and they've written the conclusion to their essay, but have no idea what that middle paragraph is going to be. And it's pretty much just going to be quotes that they pulled from Wikipedia, rearranged kind of slightly. I'm mixing my metaphors because I'm just so angry right now.
This could have been a fax.
Not going old school with the fax machine. Not the fax.
This could have been on a dot matrix printer. Like,
oh my God. All right, we're gonna start. Oh my God. I love
this could have, someone from Western Union could have come in and said like,
Pony Express.
50 days. Stop. Trick Williams. Stop.
Yeah.
Mike Santana. Stop. Bound for Glory.
Question mark.
Stop. Please stop. Stop.
I can't with you both, but I love you both so damn much.
This was just dumb. This was dumb.
Like, to see, we're making it more entertaining than it really was, honestly. But I was just like, guys, we knew this.
I mean, yay for them bringing in a local talent to kind of get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
But, other than that,
hey, wait, get that money, Michael.
Yeah.
So,
just stupid.
We don't have a graphic, but we know it's going to be Trick versus Mike at Bound for Glory. Guys, it's really hard for me to be excited about Bound for Glory, because I was like, if it was just straight to Bound for Glory, then yeah, cool. Guys, you're still also having Victory Road in between that, which is like in 4 weeks. I'm just like, what are we doing? Anyways, but that's it for the TNA episode this week. Again,
it's going to be another finishing your homework and on the bus kind of pay-per-view, because they're building so hard for Bound for Glory, and then it's going to be like, oh shit, we still have Victory Road. What can we do? Hey,
Rose, they do. They do this every time.
Every year between Slam and Glory.
And it's like, you have a whole nother pay-per-view, you dumbasses.
Like 1 or 2 in between.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. And again, I let TNA down, but like Bound for Glory is always easy to predict. I mean, nobody asked for this match, but we're getting the Hardys versus the Dudleys. I was just like, listen, it's legendary, but I don't care about it enough, because I was just like, the Hardys are on their way to retirement at some point. Bubba Ray Dudley is, God, I cannot stand that man. He is a piece of shit. I hate his guts and I hate his takes, man.
And I'll be 100% honest. Like, I know what they're going for in terms of like the moment they're trying to recreate. Give me the trifecta.
You can't have 2/3 of the original like trio teams that were a part of that,
right?
And then we're getting Santana and Trick Williams, where I swear to God, if Santana does not walk out, I will burn it to the ground. But of course, we know this, Papa. Also, we're also going to be getting the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match at Bound for Glory because that's a staple where everybody else who doesn't have a match on the card is going to be a part of that. So somebody's about to get no radio. Like, I kid you not, that is like there. It is. There's not a metaphor. It's not us being nihilistic. Like, legit. Anybody who does not have an actual match on the card always ends up in that gauntlet. There are a few exceptions to this rule, though, because
that's going to be such a clusterfuck.
That's exactly what it is. It's a battle royale. Now, last year's was ass. The year before that, though, it was kind of dope because, again, this was underneath Scott D'Amore when we actually had, Scott reaching out to different types of wrestlers. That 2 years ago, Jordan Grace won the Call Your Shot, so that was very fun. But we got the likes, we got some returns. We also got like some small debuts a little bit because they were there for an episode or two. Like we had like Sunny Kiss come in and that was awesome. But last year's was ass. Last year's Call Your Shot Gauntlet was ass because nobody actually felt credible except for two people. And by God, Frankie Kazarian won. And I'm like, Lord help us. And you saw how that turned out at Rebellion. He used the Call Your Shot Gauntlet to enter the triple threat and his bitch ass lost. So but the more exciting part is, Radio, you get to watch all that live and in person. I'm just kidding.
Oh, and I have a feeling you guys will get the same camera angle I have.
So here's the thing. As much shit as we're talking, I really hope that TNA pulls it around by that then, because honestly, TNA pay-per-views are a lot of fun. As much as I hated watching Tessa Blanchard fight Masha Slamovich and nobody in that crowd cared for that match, the experience was a lot of fun. But anyways, that's going to be it for us here at Takedown Troop. TNA is going to be very interesting leading into Victory Road and Bound for Glory. But I mean, you're probably right. But you know what?
If this episode is any indication, no, it's not.
To be fair, you're probably right. But you know what? Both the Wills here and JT, who couldn't join us this evening, at least I get to witness this car crash not by myself. And you know what? If I have to suffer, so do you. I'm just kidding.
No, it's
misery loves company, and it is very true in this sentence. But you know what? It is fine.
Going down, I'm taking you with me.
Exactly. Duh. I'm the boss, so I'm taking you down with me. But you know what? In all honesty, though, as much shit as we talk, Fridays are one of the few days I look forward to because I get to hang out with some amazing folks and we get to talk some crazy mess about wrestling, especially TNA.
And we get to be the wrestling Waldorf and Statler.
You guys, I swear, I have an artist friend who, I swear, I was like, hey, can you make Muppet versions of us? Because that'd be amazing.
From the balcony, each one with like a foam hand of like the Hardy's gun thing.
Oh my God. If we do puppet theater with TNA and recaps, that'd be amazing. But I digress. So that's going to be it for us here at Takedown Troop. We are coming to the end of a very jam-packed week of BC Wrestle Pod. So to kind of preview what remains, there's only one thing left this week, and that is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. I will be here bright and early with a smile on my face as I give a mini review for Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor. That is currently still going on right now. So I will be reviewing that Ring of Honor pay-per-view. And then, of course, Sunday is normally our WWE review, but we are taking a break because we all have deserved it. And plus, most of us are going to be watching Clash in Paris to get ready for the review on Monday. And yeah, nobody cares about Clash in Paris. This card is whack, but it is what it is. But
wait. WWE presenting a questionable product in 2025? Don't say.
I know, it's crazy, but hey, I'm gonna be honest, out of the 14 of us, 4 of us drew the short end of the stick, and we have decided that, you know what, thick and thin, the 4 of us are gonna cover WWE, but we're gonna talk a lot of shit about it. But I was like, all right. But hey, you know what? Because I watch everything and I'm always on these shows, I have a better week because there are reviews like this where I'm like, this is fine. Versus last night's reviews, I was like, you know what? International wrestling is really great, y'all. I had a good time reviewing Progress 100 Volts yesterday. But you can find us all over the place, and we got so many things coming up. September is going to be a lighter month because there's not as many pay-per-views. I have watched more wrestling in these last 2.5 weeks than I have all year so far. But we are happy that you are here to join us for this crazy ride. So for all of us here at Takedown Troop and the rest of the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish the story. I will see you guys, most people, tomorrow during my Ring of Honor review, as well as what we got going on next week. But until then, this is Sayonara At the end, until next time, peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.